started like any other mission. A calm morning over the English countryside. No alarms. No it drama. Just the hum of engines and the weight of duty. July 26th, 1943 from RAF Outnumbered. 120 flying fortresses took to the skies. Their target. 1. Słobai B-17, Trankhanover, Germany. In the cockpit of B-17, Ruthie II sat 2 men. Co-pilot John Morgan flying only his 5th combat mission. And beside him, Captain Robert Campbell steady, sharp, and trusted. Someone cracked a joke. Someone said, "One more run, and we're back for breakfast." But within the hour, that sky would turn into hell. C. 26th of July, 1943. The sky is clear. The formation is tight. Ruthie II is steady in the pack until bandits. 12 o'clock high. John Morgan's voice cuts sharp through the intercom. 150 German fighters, FW-190s and BF-109s dive like a steel swarm from the sun. In the cockpit, Campbell doesn't flinch. Behind them, Staff Sartier. Tire Weaver scrambles into the top turret, already locking on. Eyes up, guns hot. Koske calls out 1 o'clock level and pulls the trigger. 50 cals spit fire. The sky turns into chaos. Incoming. Fast. Loud. Brutal. Shells rip through the formation. A 20mm round punches into the cockpit. Morgan jerks sideways, shards of glass slice his cheek. Weaver grunts. His left shoulder explodes in blood. Still, he holds the trigger. Then snap. Campbell lurches. Head down. Blood across the yoke. Morgan turns. His pilot hit. But he's still flying. Jesus. Bob. Campbell's eyes are open. He grips the controls like nothing happened. Something's wrong. Very wrong. And the storm is just beginning. The Ruthie II is drifting. Formation lines break around her like shattered glass. Fighters circle like sharks. Morgan grips the yoke with both hands, then feels it tug back. He looks. Campbell, still there. Still flying. Still bleeding. Bob, hold formation. We're dead if we're alone. Nothing. Campbell stares ahead. Eyes locked. Blood trails down from his temple. His fingers won't let go. Morgan reaches. Tries to pull him off the controls. Campbell lashes out. Bam. A punch across Morgan's jaw. Morgan reels back. Stunned. Damn it. Bob. Let go. That's an order. Another hit. This one splits his lip. His tooth comes loose. He spits it out. Blood hits the floor. Outside, Ruthie II shakes. German shells rake the wings. Come on. Hold it together. Morgan ducks as Campbell swings again. He flies one-handed now. The other arm blocking punches. The yoke jerks left, then right, then dips. Ruthie II slips farther from formation. He's fighting 2 wars. One outside and one inside this cockpit. Bob, please, don't make me do this. Campbell growls more instinct than speech. His mind is broken, but his body still fights. Morgan eyes the oxygen mask. One pull, and it's over. His hand rises. In the nose of the Ruthie II, the air is chaos gunfire. Metal, blood, prayer. Weaver drops. His body slams down beside Koske. Left arm gone. Just gone. Blood pulses from the torn shoulder. His breath shallow. Wet. Koske kneels beside him. Shaking hands try to wrap a belt around the stump. Stay with me. Tire. Stay awake. Weaver opens one eye. Barely. He points to himself. Then to the floor hatch. Koske freezes. No. No. Men, don't ask me that. Weaver nods. Again. Slower. Eyes full of pain and clarity. Outside the glass. More flashes. More tracers. The sky's tearing itself apart. Koske grabs the parachute, tightens it over what's left of his friend's chest. He opens the hatch. The wind hits like a freight train. Freezing. Deafening. Blinding. You sure? Weaver blinks once. Kosuke puts the ripcord in his hand. Too early. Weaver pulls it by accident. The chute flops on the floor. Tangled. Dead weight. No, goddammit. He jams the chute under Weaver's arm, wraps it, holds him for one last second. You better open, you son of a bitch, and shoves him out. Gone. Swallowed by cloud and gunfire. Kosuke stands there, breathless, fists clenched. Jesus, please catch him. Somewhere behind the bomb bay. Things are getting quiet. Spent shells roll across the floor, clinking against boots. One of the waist gunners blinks, wipes frost off his goggles. His breath fogs inside the mask, then slows. Why is it so hard to think? His partner leans on the side gun, fingers slipping, eyes glazing. Something's wrong. Can't feel my hands. A second later, clunk. He drops, unmoving. Oxygen. We lost the oxygen. But no one hears. The intercom is dead. The rear of the plane is a tomb in motion. One by one, they fall, a slow collapse. Not to bullets, but to silence. Only the ball turret gunner keeps firing, spinning, sweating, fighting in a dream. He doesn't know he's alone. Tat 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 tat. Trigger pulled by habit. Shots fired by ghosts. Campbell is still moving, still breathing, still fighting, but not really here. His fists are slow now, sloppy, weak. Morgan pins him with one arm, eyes locked on the horizon. Smoke rises in the distance. Hanover. Stay down. Bob, just stay down. The yoke vibrates in his hand. Ruthie II creaks like a dying animal. Flak explodes ahead, black puffs in a blue sky. Metal shrapnel rips past the cockpit. Morgan doesn't flinch. Holds steady. Another blast rocks the plane. The glass cracks. The panel sparks. Morgan leans into it. He's bloodied, battered, alone, but the plane stays on course. Somewhere beneath him, the bombardier scans the bomb site. He taps the mic. Nothing. Intercom's dead. Guess it's just me. He breathes. Crosshairs lock. This one's for all of us. Bombs away. Thump. The bombs drop. The plane lurches upward. Light. For the first time in hours. Ruthie II feels lighter. Mission complete. But the sky is still burning, and Morgan still has to get her home. Silence. For the first time in hours, there's no gunfire, no flak, no shouting. Just the hum of Ruthie II's engines, one of them coughing black smoke. Morgan scans the skies. Where is everyone? The Germans have pulled off. Out of ammo. Out of time. He exhales, shaking. Behind him, no voices, no laughter, no groans. Just the empty crackle of a dead intercom. He flies alone, but not completely. Campbell still breathes beside him. Head slumped, blood drying. A ghost in the co-pilot's seat. And then, the channel. That beautiful, broken blue, England, home. Morgan leans forward, voice cracking. We made it. We actually made it. He doesn't cheer, doesn't smile. Not yet. There's still a landing to make, still lives to count, still silence to face. And one name he'll never stop saying. Some say no plane that broken should have flown that far. But I say it didn't fly on metal. It flew on grit and pain, and one man's will to bring everyone home. The wheels kiss the runway at RAF Falsham. Hard, rough, but alive. The Ruthie II groans. One engine dies with a cough. The tail dips slightly but holds. She makes it. Inside the cockpit, it's a scene out of a nightmare. Glass, blood, silence. A man slumped in his seat, barely breathing. It takes 30 minutes, sweat, yelling. Teamwork to pull Captain Robert Campbell from his seat. He's alive, but fading. In the back, something incredible is happening. The four gunners, unconscious for hours, start to stir. Cold, confused, but alive. They owe it to one thing. Morgan's decision to dive, to bring the plane low enough to breathe again. He saved them, before he even knew they were still there. Elsewhere, miles away in a German field, a white shoot bloomed. Weaver hit the ground broken, but breathing, captured, but not forgotten. He lived to be 74. As for Morgan, he sat alone after the landing, hands shaking, shirt soaked, still gripping the yoke. Someone said he didn't even know they'd landed. One hand on the controls, one on his friend, one against fate itself. On December 18th, 1943, John C. Morgan received the Medal of Honor, not for killing, but for holding on. The war ended. The medals were pinned, but some stories never truly land. John Morgan's battle over the North Sea, inside a crippled fortress, beside a dying friend, didn't just win him a Medal of Honor. It became legend. Hollywood borrowed his fire. The film 12 O'Clock High drew from Morgan's impossible flight. But no script could match the raw truth. A man fought not just the enemy, but his own fear, his own rage, and the weight of a friend too hurt to let go. Years later, veterans would say, "We all knew a Campbell. We all needed a Morgan. Because in that sky, on that day, he chose to stay seated, when leaving would have been easier." And maybe that's the real lesson. Courage isn't loud. It's quiet hands holding the wheel. It's doing what's right even when no one sees, even when it hurts. If this story moved you, share it. Let someone else know that bravery doesn't always come with glory. Sometimes it comes with a bloodied face, a steady hand, and a vow to bring your crew home. This was the story of John C. Morgan and the Ruthie II. One man, one fortress, one unforgettable flight.